Hey YouTube, this is Sign19 coming with you with another deck profile. This has been a long-awaited deck profile. This is Blue Sky Knight Altmile, the standard version. I will be doing a premium version in a couple of days. I'm going to be on vacation soon, so I got plenty of time. But I finally finished it. I think it's in a good place right now. Especially since the Nextage just came out. I think this is a good time to show what my deck has done. I have tested it multiple times. It is very strong in my opinion. And alright, let's just get into it. So first we're running, of course, the main man. We're going to be running 4 copies of Blue Sky Knight Altmile. He has a continuous ability during your turn. If you have no face-up damage in your damage zone, he gets 15k. So he becomes a 28k beat stick. Which is good for making numbers, but then he also has an axe skill. This is another way for you to get rid of your counterblast. Counterblast 1, ditch a card from your hand, search your deck for up to 2 grade 2s and add them to your hand. This is a good way to filter your deck, compressing your deck down to nothing but triggers. This deck is very grade 2 base heavy. Now I see a lot of people running around with this 4 copies of Altmile and a lot of grade 2s. I don't think that's a very good way. You try to do too much so fast. So I think of just circling around a good play style would be best for this deck, in my opinion. So alongside this, I play 4 copies of Agret Knight Fierno. So she's a good skill. She has a Vanguard Rearguard skill, which is an axe skill. Counterblast 2, call a card from your hand, and she and that unit both gain plus 10k. So this is another good way to create good column numbers. Even running her as a Vanguard isn't so bad. Right now, Royal Palm does not have, and V series wise, doesn't have a really good counter charger. The trial deck one is not good in my opinion. And the other one that we have is only if you're running Blaster Blade. I don't run Blaster Blade in this deck. This is a pure Altmile centric deck. So good if your opponent swings early with crits. That way you can get rid of the 2 damage really quickly and benefit from it. But besides that, she's just there, like I said, just to get rid of those 2 damage or some excess damage, but also benefit from it. That's it for the grade 3s that I run. We're going to go into the grade 2s. Also from the trial deck, I play 4 copies of Absolute Blade Knight Levarote. Yes, his name is Levarote. There are no D's in his name. I've been watching a lot of videos and people have been pronouncing his name wrong. It is Levarote. Auto skill, Vanguard Rearguard when placed from hand. Counterblast 1. Search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 and call it to an open rearguard circle. You must remember, call it to an open rearguard circle. Additional skill, if you have no face-up counterblast, you can substitute that counterblast for a soul blast. So this is a very all-around flexible card. So our another grade 2 is, I like to call it, is the linchpin of the deck. I play 4 copies of Rendering Angel. So this card is very good. So it's just when placed. So you can call it off of Levarote skill or call it from hand. When you do that, you superior call a grade 2 or less card from your hand, and you can call himself, because you can call any grade 2. So you can chain off him to another copy of himself into another unit. So whenever you do that and you do call something, he gains +5. So this is also another good way to gain some power. But then also, if you were to play Fierno first, then go into him, he gains 15k on top of his own skill and her skill, so he becomes a 25k beater by himself. Well, not really by himself, but it's a good chain of effects that can happen. I built the deck to be a good combo deck. Our next grade 2 cards. Right now, this is just staying in the deck for right now. I plan on taking this out later. I'm playing 2 copies of Stabbing Knight Relga. So every time you Soul Blast, and you'll see when it comes to the grade 1s how much we're going to Soul Blast in this deck. So every time you Soul Blast, take a card from out your soul and put it into the drop zone, she gains 5k. And this ability stacks. So you can imagine just how big she can get. Our last grade 2 and this is also another card that's going to be coming out of the deck later, is Epsigal. This is a placeholder for our Starlight Violinist. So, auto skill, whenever a card is superior called, or whenever a card is placed by an ability, this unit gains 3k and it gains the boost. So this is a good way to prepare yourself for the playstyle of boosting with grade 2s and things like that. So this is a very good playstyle, and again, that ability stacks. So with all the combo playing that you're doing, he can become a very big boy. Keep that in mind. That's all of my grade 2s, and then we're going to go into the grade 1s. So this is a card that allows you to Soul Blast to trigger off Stabbing Knight's ability. I play 4 copies of the trial deck card, Lunar Crescent Knight Phylux. His name is Phylux. Very simple skill. When he attacks or the boost that the attack that he's boosting, you can Soul Blast one card, bounce another card in another column, and then he gains 5k. So another way of getting some good numbers and some hand recurrence. Because you really want to play a lot of these cards, so like Lever and Rendering Angel. Those are cards that need to be played from the hand. We're going to go into our next grade 1. I play 3 copies. That's centered for you all. I play 3 copies of Night Squire Allen. This is the first card that came in the trial. That came in the IT trial deck. Very good card with this comboing off. So his skill is when placed. Again, that can be from anywhere. So when placed, counterblast 1. Choose a card from your hand whose grade equals your Vanguard or less and call it. And if you call one, he gains 3k and you get to draw 1 card. This is another good draw card and another good card that can actually start a lot of your combos off. Our next grade 1 that we play is 3 copies of Cloud Lancer Geonomus. I know I didn't pronounce that right. So very good grade 2 recurring deck, grade 2 recurring card back to the deck. So one place, put a grade 2 to the bottom of your deck, and then he gains 10k. So again, he combos very well with Ferno, combos very well with Rendering Angel. Another good card will be Allen. These are cards that can just pop off and summon each other out of the hand to gain massive benefits and become stronger together. Because you gotta remember, this is Royal Paladin. This is the clan that fights together. So if one of them is strong, they're all going to be strong. Another card that I'm thinking about, either replacing with Geonomus, because I was testing a few days ago, well today, would be Dream Painter. So here's another card that said, when placed by an ability, you can take 1 card from your drop zone and put it at the bottom or top of your deck. If you put it at the bottom of your deck, he gains 5k. So this can be any card. But unlike Geonomus, his power is half of what Geonomus gets, and he also has to be played by an ability. You just can't play him at the hand like Geonomus. So Geonomus is more of a free card that can do it, but he's a more flexible card because he can choose more things than Geonomus can. So it's a good option, either or, whatever you want to go with. Then the last grade 1 I play is Pure Bright Unicorn. So just like you're soul blasting a lot with Felix, you're going to need to recur that soul back. So this card says if you have 3 or more units in the front row, when placed, soul charge 1. But if you have a full field auto skill, this unit gains 5k. So he's another card that gains a lot of power when comboed off right. So again, like you see in the trend, there's a lot of cards that can combo off right. I'm going to show you what I mean once we get into once we finish with the deck profile. We're going to go into the grade 0s. I play Milius, because that's the starter that came to Tri deck. That's the starter that always comes to Altmile, so you should always play it. I play 4 draw PGs. Excuse me, hold on one second. I play 4 draw PGs. I play 4 of the new draws. Because as I'm testing in this deck, I realize this deck has not that much draw power, and it lives and dies by how much you're able to guard, how much you allow your opponent to attack you. So you need as many pieces in your hand to guard with, and many pieces to perform your combos. This deck is very piece reliant, from what I'm finding out. Next, I play well, not 4 copies, but I play 4 crits, 2 Flogo, 2 Epina, and to finish it off, I play 4 of the Healing Pegasus as my heal trigger. So I play 8 draw, 4 crit, 4 heal. Not your basic standard ratio, but basic enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a basic play that you can do to combo off this deck very well. So let's say that you have Blue Sky Knight Altmile as your Vanguard. You have Fairno as a rear guard. You have, then on your field you play Epskull in the back row. Let me just get this organized so you can see all the cards. Epskull in the back row. And you have Rendering Angel, and what's the name? G Morris in your hand. And you have 2 face-up damage. So we're going to put that right over here. You have 2 face-up damage, right? So the ideal play is to do this. And what the marker what's the word I'm looking for? The marker that I would say that you should use in this current build will be Force 2, because you're going to gain a lot of power, but your units won't have the natural crit like Ariel gives. So what I would do in this state would be activate Fairno skill, which is a Counterblast 2. So that immediately turns on Altmile's 15. Then from my hand, I would summon Rendering Angel, giving her 10, Rendering Angel 10, then Rendering Angel skill activates, which Superior calls G Morris from the hand. G Morris skill activates, sending a grade 2 from the drop zone back to the bottom of the deck. He gains 10k. Rendering Angel skill activates because this got Superior Caller, which gives him an extra +5. And then she gains 10k from her own skill, so power bonus would be 15, 10, 15, 10. And then he saw 2 units being Superior Caller, so he gains +6k in boost. So off the bat, you're already hitting for 23, 43, if I'm not wrong, 15, 25, 35, 40, 43. You're already hitting for high numbers already in the 40s. And that's just with this combo alone. You can go even higher with other combos, like adding in Pure Bright, adding in Allen to the mix. You have so many different lines of combos that you can go with to gain more power. And let's not mention Felix as well. Just about every grade 1 in this deck gains an additional +5 or additional +10. So you have so many lines that you can hit so many hard numbers. And the more that you ride grade 3s, you can have a whole front row full of Force 2s. That way every line is hitting for a lethal number that your opponent has to guard or GG. So that's what I would say that I would do in this deck with the combos that I just showed you. And basically what you want to do, you usually want to keep playing this combo over and over again to the point where it nails in the coffin for your opponent. Because the way that I like to name this deck is that you're screwed if you do, which means that if you give me damage, you're going to be screwed. And if you decide to damage deny me, you're also going to be screwed. So your opponent really doesn't have any way around playing around this deck in this build. So that's all I can really say about it. It's the way that I believe that I built the deck is really tight knit. It does one thing, and it does that one thing very, very well. To the point where your opponent, unless they have a way to gain a lot of card advantage early, they are going to take a lot of these swings to the face, and then they won't be able to stop them. Especially in the grade 2 game where I could ride excuse me, I could ride Lever Rope, call a Rendering Angel from the deck. Its skill pops off. Then I could call. I can call an Allen from the hand. Allen's skill pops off. Then from there I can call a Felix from the hand. Then this alone is a very strong grade 2 rush with recurring cards and drawing cards, and your opponent is going to be. This alone is plus 10k. That alone is plus 5k. And again, I can go even further if I wanted to. There's so much that I can do with this deck that is funny. But that's all I got to say for this deck profile. If you like what you saw, if you have any questions, if you're interested in any other lines of play that I do, you can always leave a comment down below. Yeah, it's just, I believe this is what Altmile has been waiting for. He's gone through so many other different decks and play styles that were so bad in the past. Especially if you were played back in the G era, he was so bad, it was laughable. This is the deck that he deserves. And especially now since he's about to get his evolved form in Ariel, it's just going to get worse. So, yeah, I'm just really happy to finally have this. This was my first deck that I started this game with, and I'm so happy how strong it is now, and how much stronger it's going to get in a couple weeks. Alright, so I've been rambling on. So, like I said, if you like what you saw, please leave a comment down below, like and subscribe. I will have a lot more videos. I'm going to have a deck update video coming up soon of all the decks that you've seen so far and where they are now, talking about where they can go in the future to make them stronger. If you're interested in that, please let me know down below which decks you want to see first. And I'm going to get around to everything. And then after that, I will be starting my Wave 2, quote unquote, of decks of other clans and things like that. You're going to be seeing a lot more fights on the channel, a lot more of my friends and other people who play their premium and standard budget decks for other clans, stuff like that. Seeing how they go up against the metaverse of this game of ours. Like I said, sorry, I've been rambling on. So please leave a like down below, subscribe. Leave a comment. Please leave a clean comment. Don't want to get flagged or anything like that. As always, see you later.